Ventura County in Southern California right now gusting to 33 miles per hour. Temperature is 60. Again, 26,000 acres plus about 30,000 now have burned, and we're talking in a 12-hour period. This thing is sprinting across. Jim just told me before the break and I got on about a football field a second. A football field a second is being ensconced in fire. That's pretty dramatic. Over 8,000 homes evacuated, 200,000 without power. Let's right now hear from the Ventura County Sheriff.
You must abide by these evacuation notices. We saw the disasters and the losses that happened up north in Sonoma, and this is a fast, very dangerous, moving fire.
All right, so it is fast. Fast is an understatement. Can you imagine? Since midnight through today, 30,000 acres being burned. It is fast. It is sprinting. And you know what? Interesting. It's so rare for this time in December to have this kind of critical fire event. It really hasn't happened to this degree since 2002. So it's rare. It's certainly been dry in these winds. Here we are. You can see where it is. Ventura County. This is the Thomas Fire, what it's being called. And you can see where it is between Santa Barbara, just north of Santa Paula, west of Santa Clarita, between LA, but even as far south as LA, getting 20 and 30 mile per hour wind gusts. So here's some current winds. You can see in Casitas, 33 mile per hour, Whitaker Peak, 45 mile per hour wind gusts, Simi Valley, 36, in Camarillo, you can see 49, 50, Burbank even, 45 mile per hour wind gusts. So kind of the breadth and depth of this around Southern Cal is pretty big. And it will continue. No, the worst of this fire won't even be felt maybe until Wednesday night with the strongest winds with this, and we do have this critical fire threat all the way through at least Thursday. So where's
right now, and what we are smelling and tasting is ash in the air.
Anybody home?
There's a lot of fuel in its path, and the wind is not doing them any good at all.
Just hope for the best and hope nobody lost their life.
Your homes.
Wow, there has been one fatality reported actually and a few injuries to boot. But here's some live pictures right now of what is happening. This is the Thomas Fire in Southern California. We are in Ventura County. It's between LA and Santa Barbara. And within a 12-hour period, since last night alone, 31,000 acres have burned. 8,000 homes have been evacuated, 20,000 without power. That is ebbing and flowing. There was more than that, and there certainly will be again. So a scary sight. And this just in now, it's from Sacramento, firefighters coming in to assist with this fire, this Thomas Fire burning here in Ventura County. And you can see trying to attack it from all angles, but the winds have been so strong and will continue to be. Critical fire danger, really rare for this time in December. It's only really the second time since 2002, something to the gravity of this since then in December. So it is rare, but it is happening, and boy, it is 0 to 60. Now to take a look at the fire in Ventura County that continues to swell. The Thomas Fire, this is a mental health facility, and people here supposedly have been moved. Look at that. Did you see that just come off? Moved to a school and moved from there. The wind's now gusting to 37 miles per hour. Within a 12-hour period, we have seen from 0 to 31,000 acres being burned. That is the approximation of about a football field a second. A football field a second, the speed and the rapid movement of this fire. Over 8,000 homes now have been evacuated, 20,000 without power, and it's quite rare in December to have this kind of activity. So let's take you right now back to Ventura County and get a look at the very latest now with KNBC's Jonathan Gonzalez.
Yeah, guys, you know, I should have mentioned last time we saw you that the winds had really died down, but they're all of a sudden really starting to pick up once again. We're getting gusts in every single direction. Take a look at the fire here. This building continues to burn, but it started up here sometime overnight. You see those two vans up there on the hill. That entire hillside is now scorched. The winds are what carry the embers from that hill over to this medical facility, and just in time. We did get some people calling our station with concerns that perhaps their family members member, their relative, their friend may have been here, may be hurt, we can gladly tell you that everybody was evacuated in the nick of time. Firefighters were able to kind of assess the situation, assess where the fire was going, and they were able to alert the people here and got them evacuated. They have been moved to an empty school facility just down the road from here. We are just east of Highway 33, and there's one thing we're going to try to show you here. It is one of the bedrooms, one of the medical bedrooms here, that really shows you a perspective of what happened. You can see how disheveled everything is, how thrown around everything is. Obviously, it shows that people were trying to get out quickly. So again, this medical facility has 83 beds. Everybody did make it out okay. These buildings continue to burn. So far, the fire seems to be self-contained. That is the good news. Of course, we can never be too sure. But again, the Vista Del Mar medical facility, mental health facility, continuing to burn at this hour, and firefighters are just kind of letting it do its thing right now as they are obviously stretched thin, really working on other priorities at this time. But this structure here, one of 150, now a total loss. Reporting in Ventura, I'm Jonathan Gonzalez. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Jonathan, thank you so much. So the Vista Del Mar health facility, that's what that was. Over 80 beds in there. They've all had to get out. The speed of the movement of this is unbelievable. All right, so there you are. I'll show you where this Thomas Fire is in Ventura County between Santa Barbara and LA. And remember, they were talking where it's positioned near Santa Paula, just north of that. And the winds, you heard Jonathan saying how the winds had subsided and now they really started to kind of come in earnest again. And they will only do that, fluctuate, and only get worse. Wednesday night, really quite awful. And then even into Thursday, that critical fire danger looms and stays. So the winds now gusting, look at this, 67 miles per hour. Burbank in the 50s, Simi Valley, Camarillo 47. So 50, 60 mile per hour wind gusts, certainly not the exception, but the rule. And we will continue to see that today and tomorrow and even into tomorrow night. So here's the forecast, this critical and extreme fire danger. We've got that in place, and you know, also what we're seeing is incredible for this time of year, because in December, it's only really happened twice since 2002, so very rare, but surely significant, and we will take you back live right after the break. This is earlier today, the Thomas Fire now burning within a 12-hour period, 31,000 acres. This is Ventura County in Southern Cal between LA and Santa Barbara. 30,000 acres burned within a 12-hour period. 20,000 without power. At least 8,000 homes have been evacuated, and over 150 structures have been completely burned, and you can see that there. What that is the Vista Del Mar mental health facility. 80 beds there. Certainly everyone evacuated to a nearby school, and you can continue to see the fires and the winds that have really erupted now. The winds even getting stronger. They abated for a while. We'll take you back there again live and show you what is happening and the forecast for this fire in Ventura County.
Happened up north in Sonoma, and this is a fast, very dangerous, moving fire.
Wildfires raging out of control. These fast-moving and dangerous fires already charring thousands of acres. And the threat, it's far from over. Thousands are being forced to evacuate as the flames threaten homes and businesses. The biggest threat today as crews work tirelessly to get these fires under control. These pictures continue to come in of the wildfires that continue to go. We want to listen in now to a press conference which is taking place right now.
And received quite a bit of help from all of our neighbors to the north and the south of us. It was really an exceptional show of partnership and a display of the mutual aid system. Throughout the night, resources came into Ventura County. We were literally tapped out as we were leapfrogging along, protecting structures all along the fire front from Santa Paula to the city of Ventura. And we placed those resources right into action as they showed up here at the fairgrounds, and we placed them into service. With that, I would like to turn it over to our county sheriff's office, Kevin Donahue.
Good morning. Just to reiterate what the chief said, we did have a lot of successes last night, despite the battle that was in front of us. We have over 100 sheriff's personnel working in the fire areas, dealing with evacuations, supporting the fire department with those evacuations. We're asking people that are in the area to avoid the fire areas. We'd like the people that are interested in taking pictures and looking to stay away from the fire areas. Also, all of the shelter information can be found on readyventuracounty.org website. You can also register for VC Alert at that website so that you can get notified via cell phone for any other evacuation notices. With that, we'll open up to any questions that you might have.
Can you tell us about the fire behavior and challenges you faced last night and today?
Sure. The question was about the fire behavior. We're going to be faced with basically the same challenges that we had yesterday. We have extremely high winds, very, very low relative humidities, and our fuel conditions out there are absolutely about as bad as they could be for fire spread. So we're very concerned about the wind popping up again today and pushing the fire a little bit further towards the west. And it's going to be a challenge. Fortunately, we have daylight now. We'll be able to have air resources up. We should see a number of air tankers and helicopters flying in short order. Sure, that's always a concern. You know, with the winds being high, obviously it can get to the point where we can no longer fly aircraft. As far as the wind conditions go right now, the conditions are favorable for both types of aircraft, so our hope is that it remains that way throughout the day.
Officials there giving an update on the fire, including the really bad weather conditions. The heat is up, the winds are up, and the fuels are about as dry as they can be this time of year.
Yeah, so still trying to get things under control at this point. The good news, as he said, is we now have a daylight, so that'll help the situation just a bit more there. We'll, of course, continue to follow the situation, bring you more updates there. But again, as you mentioned, Mark, the weather situation really not cooperating for us here in Southern California. Dealing with the winds right now, you can see in Burbank, over 30 miles per hour at this point. Very strong and gusty winds has really been one of the stories here for us, and that's led to red flag warnings all across Southern California.
Those winds were so strong overnight that they couldn't fly the air tankers and the helicopters. Officials saying that this afternoon they should be able to get some air support, so that will help with these red flag conditions and with the fires that are ongoing. But the danger is still really high.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we're talking ranging from elevated to critical all the way to extreme here for us in Southern Cal. And this is not something that happens too often at this time of the year. So this is a sort of unusual situation for us in Southern California. Not the fact that there are fires, but there are fires getting going and the conditions are like they are at this time of the year. So extreme danger here for us. The impacts here, including fires starting very quickly, which is exactly what we saw there with that Thomas fire, and it spread extremely fast, furiously getting going there, and at times those fires can be unmanageable.
That Santa Ana wind will continue through the day. Here's basically your wind forecast, and although those sustained winds could be 40, 50 miles per hour, there's still that potential for gusts that get as high as 80. That's when this is just a tinderbox, right? This is when everything goes, the fire spreads very quickly. You notice that offshore flow continuing all the way through Thursday, and officials are worried about that westward push of the fire, that west line could continue to grow further into Ventura County, further into even downtown areas of Ventura.
Yeah, absolutely. Heading into tomorrow, there you can see some of the zones. We sort of get rid of the extreme areas, but still critical here for you, including LA to Pasadena. So it doesn't improve a whole lot more heading on into the mid part of the week. There's your forecast in Santa Ana over the next 12 hours or so. Lots of sunshine expected, very breezy, windy, gusty conditions all the way through the afternoon. We see the winds come down and slacken off just a tad later today, but still strong enough to certainly spread some of these fires.
Strong offshore winds continue to fuel the flames. We're looking live now in Ventura County, and you can see that kind of layer of smoke hanging in the air off in the distance there. Behind that smoke is the fire. That is the Thomas fire that continues to burn. It's burned about 45,000 acres now. And unfortunately, a lot of stuff was in the way. It wasn't just trees and, outlying areas. This is 150 structures damaged or destroyed already. Officials are still concerned that this fire will continue to spread. Those offshore winds will continue, gusting as high as 80 miles per hour at times today, not out of the question, especially in and below some of those canyons and passes. Plus, the fuels for this fire, the grasses, the brush, are about as dry as they could ever possibly be this time of year. It's been an extraordinarily dry start to the typically wet season, and so there just hasn't been any relief. So as these fires continue to go, fueled by those offshore, the often called Santa Ana winds, we have an elevated, if not extreme, fire threat through the rest of the day, potentially, Alex, through the rest of the week.
Yeah, tough times there for sure. Meanwhile, we go what's happening in Southern California, Ventura County, and the damage being done here. The Thomas Fire really raging here for you. 45,000 plus acres at this point, and structures, homes, buildings being destroyed. You can see this one here, what is happening there. Just unbelievable seeing the fire that continues to churn on that tree as well as that building, and a number of structures, over 100 in fact, being impacted by this particular fire, which has really gotten out of control in a very, very short amount of time. Really dry conditions, very strong, gusty Santa Ana winds helping to fuel this particular fire, and they're trying to get this thing as best handled as they can, but certainly a tough time as the weather conditions are not helping the situation there. That's the story in Southern California. We head to the south.